Okay, this lesson is quadratic formula, MT2, lesson 5. Okay, what will you learn? I can use the quadratic formula to solve quadratics. The vocabularies, the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This can be used to find solutions. Remember that solutions mean zeros, means roots, and it means x-intercepts. This is another way to find x-intercepts, where the quadratic is going to cross the x-axis. Sometimes things can be factored, sometimes they can't. If a quadratic cannot be factored, you need to use the quadratic equation to find those x-intercepts or those roots or zeros, however it's described, okay? In the equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, when the a cannot equal 0, because remember, a is what tells us what direction the quadratic is going to open, up and up or down, if it's going to widen or become steeper. The portions of the quadratic equation that is underneath the radical b squared minus 4c is called the discriminant. It can be used to determine the number or types of solutions, okay, that will be found in ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. All right, okay, so here is our quadratic equation, okay? This is standard form. A, B, and C are the coefficients in the standard form of the quadratic. So we're going to be plugging A, B, and C into the quadratic. Look right here. There's a B, there's a B, there's a A, C. AC means you're timesing. You're timesing 4AC, and 2A means you're going to multiply. This plus or minus right here means that there are going to be possibly two solutions. Okay, now let me define that. There could be no solution, no, one, or let me write this as one, or two solutions. But if you get a plus or minus, that means that there's in your answer, you could get two solutions, okay? All right, let's go through this, and we're going to look and see if we've got a quadratic equation. And if we do, we're going to identify A, B, and C. Now, these two are not in your notes. Okay, this one is not in your notes. This one is not in your notes. So let's just go through them. Okay, our A is 1, our B is 4, and our C is 3. All right? Okay, right here, our A is 3, our B is 7, our C is -2. Okay, you can pause the video and stop and try and see if you can pick these up. Okay, you can try these problems. This is your number 1 right here. Okay, what is our A value? 1, B is 4, C is -3. Make sure you're using the signs in front of those numbers, okay? In this one, number 2, your A is going to be 2, B is -6, and C is -3. Make sure to use the sign in front of the numbers. Okay, now we're going to take these quadratics and we are going to put them in the quadratic equation. However, this one right here is not in standard form. We need to get it in standard form. So we need to add 4 to both sides because we need to set it equal to 0. So it will be 3x squared minus 4x plus 4, and that equals 0, okay? So we need to make sure that we put it in standard form before we determine our A, our B, and our C. So our A is going to be 3, our B is -4. That will cancel out this positive in the front, and our C is 4. So now we're going to learn how to plug it in the quadratic equation. Remember, the formula is x equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. So let's learn how to take A, B, and C and plug it in the quadratic. X equals negative what? -b. What is my b value? -4. Use the sign in front of the value. Okay, b again, -4. You will want to put parentheses around that. Okay, 4ac. What is my a value? 3. What is my c value? 4. Remember, you're going to be multiplying these. Maybe put some parentheses around there. And our A is 3. It doesn't mean 23, it means 2 times 3. Okay, let's try this one. Is number 4 set equal to 0? Well, yes, it is. So this will be my A. My B is -2. My C is -1. So let's go ahead and put those in. 5, -2, and -1. That's your A, your B, and your C. Okay, B is -2. Although there's a negative already here in the front, doesn't matter because eventually 2 negatives are going to make a positive, but still use the sign in front of the number. This one you're going to need to put parentheses around. For A is 5, C is -1, and A is 5. So that is how you plug in the numbers. And then we could use our calculators or some form of an apparatus to help us figure out just exactly what those answers are. And we'll get to that point. All right, remember, this is the formula. X equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, now, what is the discriminant? The discriminant is this part right here, b squared minus 4ac. Whatever you get from b squared minus 4ac, it is going to tell us some information about our graph. Okay? All right. If b squared minus 4ac, if that amount is greater than 0, there's 2 real values. So we're going to get 2 x-intercepts when b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0. Okay? So that means it's going to cross the x-axis 2 spots right here. Okay, let's look at this number 5 here. If b squared minus 4ac equals 0, it equals 0, then there is one real solution. So so b squared minus 4ac equals 0. Okay, we get 0. Now, right here, b squared minus 4ac, if it's less than 0, it is not going to cross the x-axis. So it's going to be something like this. This is when it's never going to cross the x-axis. This one is if it has one solution. Okay? All right. All right. Okay, this one says identify the discriminant and the types of solutions. Okay, first thing you want to do is identify A is 1, B is 4, and C is 3. You want to be able to put it in this piece, b squared minus 4ac. All right, what is our b value? 4. 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times 3. All right, 4 squared is 16. Then you want to multiply all that together. -4 times 1 times 3 is minus 12, and so I get a 4. All right, so let's think about this. Is 4 bigger? Let's go back and look at these. Maybe. All right. Okay, b squared minus 4ac, this number 4 right here. If b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, how many solutions will I have? I'm going to have 2. So let's go back over here. 4 right here. B squared minus 4ac is bigger than 0. So that's going to give me 2 real solutions. Means it's going to cross the x-axis twice. Okay? I don't know exactly where it's going to grab, but it's going to be something like this. It's going to cross in 2 spots. Okay? Something like that. Okay, let's do, that's 5. Okay, let's do 6. Okay, A is 2, B is -6, and C is -3. All right, let's plug it in. B squared minus 4ac. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we'll get -6. And when you do the negative, you need to put it in parentheses. -4 times 2 times -3. We'll get 36. -4 times 2 is -8. -8 times -3 is 24. And it's a plus 24. Okay? Make sure you put all of this in your calculator, okay? All right, 36 plus 24, guys, is what? 60. 60 is bigger than 0. So how many solutions will we get? 2 real solutions. Okay? All right. All right, let's try this one. Because this is set to 0 and it's in standard form, A is 3, B is -7, C is -2. Okay, let's try this one. All right, B squared minus 4AC. Okay, we're going to do -7 squared minus 4 times 3 times -2. Okay, we're going to get 49. We're going to get -4 times 3 is -12. -12 times 2 is +24. Once again, now this doesn't always happen, guys, but on this one it is. We're going to get 73. Is 73 bigger than 0? Yes, so we're going to get 2 real solutions. Okay, that's how you work the discriminant. Okay, plug into the quadratic equation and solve. First of all, is this in standard form? Is it set equal to 0? Yes. Okay, let's pick out our A, our B, and our C. Our A is 2, B is -6, C is -3. That does not look like a very good C. There we go. Okay, remember, you're going to plug it into this equation. X equals -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. This is the quadratic equation. All right? All right. Okay, let's start to plug it in. All right. The reason it says x equals, because we're going to find out where it's going to cross the x-axis. -6, that's -b, plus or minus the square root of -6 b squared minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2 times 2. All right, let's see if we can simplify this a little bit. 2 negatives make a positive, plus or minus. Okay, you can go ahead and punch this all straight into a calculator. You can get 8, 24. You can get 36 plus 24. 36 and 24. Okay, that's going to give you 60. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, we know because 60 is bigger than 0, we're going to get 2 real solutions. Okay, now, when you were to find where it crosses the x-axis, you're going to work this 2 times. We're going to do the plus case. 6 plus the square root of 60 all over 4. And then we're going to do the minus case. 6 minus the square root of 60 all over 4. Okay, caution. Put your numerator all in a set of parentheses. So let's go ahead and try that on our calculators. Okay? Okay, punch in 6 plus square root of 60. Then do that in parentheses, divided by 4. Okay, now I got 3. This reduced this. This is what I got in my calculator. Plus the square root of 15 all over 2. Just let's hit that SD button on our calculators, and it gives us 3 point. Let's round it out to the thousandths. 436. Okay? So I'm not sure on Delta Math if it wants it reduced. This would be reduced. And this would be decimal. So see what Delta Math wants. Okay, now let's do this one right here where we've got 6 minus. Okay, so let's clear out. So we've got 6 minus the square root of 60 divided by what? 4. Okay, so that's going to give us, okay, that'll give us 3 minus the square root of 15 all over 2, or negative 0.436. So these are the two places. These are my x-intercepts. Okay? Those are where it's crossing the x-axis. All right, here we go. Okay, we're going to use the quadratic formula, right? And it's this is set it is equal to y, or 0. 4x squared minus 4x minus 15. Okay, it's ready to go. A is 4, B is negative 4, C is negative 15. All right, okay, let's plug it in. Remember, you're plugging it into x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. All right, so let's do it. X equals negative. Okay, what is your b value? Negative 4. Plus or minus the square root. Okay, what is your b value? Negative 4 squared. Minus 4 times a. What is our a value? What's our c value? Negative 15. All divided by 2 times what? 4. X equals 4 plus or minus the square root. You can go ahead and punch that whole thing in. You're going to get, I'm not even sure what that is, so use a calculator. So negative 4, you're going to square it, minus 4 times 4 times negative 15. Okay? And you should get 256. Okay? Then we're going to get 2 times 4 is 8. Okay? Now, this one is going to be pretty nice. You can punch in 4 plus the square root of 256, all divided by 8. And you can type in 4 minus the square root of 256, all over 8. Make sure, guys, that you use parentheses around your numerator. Okay? All right, here we go. Left parenthesis, 4 plus the square root of 256. Okay? Divided by 8. Okay, what did you get? Okay, I got 5 halves, or 2.5. Okay? Right, let's do it the other way with a minus. Let's go 4 minus the square root of 256 divided by 8. And I got negative 3 halves, or negative 1 1/2. Okay? That's where it crosses the x-axis. These two would be your answers. Check Delta Math, see how it wants your answers. Okay? All right, sometimes, you guys, the quadratic is not set equal to 0. It's a quadratic because it's a 2, but it's not set equal to 0. So you're going to have to add 1 to both sides before you can pick out your A, your B, and your C. All right, so A is 25. B is 10. C is 1. All right, let's plug it in. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4A C all over 2A. All right? Okay, so X equals negative 10 plus or minus. Okay, let's see what's underneath this square root. So we've got 10 squared minus 4 times 25 times 1. Okay, now I got a 0 right here over 50. Okay, square root of 0, 0. And if I get a 0 here, according to the discriminant, that means I'm going to have one x-intercept, because the square root of 0 is 0. So all I have left is negative 10 over 50, which reduces to negative 1/5, which also is negative 0.2. This is an equal sign. So it is only going to touch the x-axis at negative 0.2. So we have one solution because our discriminant was 0. Okay, let's do this one. Again, it isn't set equal to 0. So we're going to add 20 to both sides. You've got to get the equation, guys, equal to 0. Okay, A is 2, B is 12, C is 20. Okay, here we go. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4 times 2 times 20 for AC, all divided by 2 times 2. All right, here we go. Negative 12 plus or minus. Okay, let's see what 12 squared minus 4 times 2 times 20. Negative 16 all over 4. Okay, now we've never had, at least in the problems we've worked before, we've never had a negative underneath the square root. So this means if your discriminant is a negative 16, it means that your quadratic is never going to cross the x-axis. It will never touch the x-axis. So we're going to have to figure this out. Now, this might be a little crazy because we haven't really talked about complex numbers before. But let's pop it in our calculator and see what we've got. Well, we've got negative 16. So if we take this negative away, what's the square root of 16? That's 4. So negative 12 plus or minus 4. However, we've got this negative here that we have to deal with. It becomes an I all over 4. Okay, now what's the GCF out of 12? Look in your numerator. What's the GCF out of 12 and 4? Well, it's 4. And so we're going to take out a 4, leaving me with negative 3 plus or minus I divided by 4. Anytime you have a negative, oh wait, and then these 4's cancel out. So my final answer, negative 3 plus or minus I. This is going to be your answer. We haven't really done complex numbers yet, so if you get one like that on Delta Math, you're going to have to let your teacher know or let one of us know so that we can help you with that. But anytime you have a negative, it will come out here and become an I. And once you get the negative out there, then you just take the square root of 16, okay? Okay, go ahead and do your lesson. Finish up your lesson 5 notes. Work on your Delta Math assignment. Make sure you fill out your exit ticket and have a good afternoon.